welcome to Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. We've got the latest news and reports. For those who have been following on Hluttaw news, Hluttaw votes on bill amendment. Updates on China economy, international help and confirmed cases. A story coverage on 4th Myanmar Digital Rights Forum to explore the role of data. As for the last report, E-Commerce Association of Myanmar officially launched. We'll get to the reports in a while, but before that, let's take a look at the local news. State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi, who's also the chairperson of the Central Committee for Development of Border Areas and National Races, attended the inauguration ceremony of JICA Phase 2 building at the 500-bed hospital in Hluttaw, northern Shan State, and held meetings with locals in Hluttaw, Shan State, and in Bien Uluin Township of Mandalay Region on Tuesday. During the meeting with local people at the City Hall of Hluttaw, State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi said, "Every individual is important. Efforts are being made to prevent the fearful infectious disease and its impacts, as well as to protect the health of every one of our people. A national-level committee has been formed since we came to know about the outbreak and spread of the disease in February. The committee aimed to fight back the consequences caused by the disease and to prevent its impacts upon us." She said, "Our nation isn't one of the wealthy and prosperous countries in the world. In reality, we have been left behind in the Southeast Asian countries. However, it's not to be discouraged. We do have a lot of time to move forward and we get ourselves motivated to improve and develop our country. The main thing is that we do want all the people not only to take as granted, but we need to be good people for the world as well." The state councillor also touched on the health of the people, referring to the recent seizure of narcotic drugs in Hluttaw Township, by saying, "Those who are selling narcotic drugs are requested to stop their illegal businesses. That's a crime. It can destroy our environment. It's also a kind of misdeeds." Ministry of Health and Sports held its daily meeting on prevention and control of coronavirus infection on Tuesday in Naypyidaw. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Professor Dr. Tak Kai Win, called on the officials to coordinate with the ministry's concern to suspend seasonal festivals to reduce crowds in efforts to prevent the coronavirus infection. He also stressed the need to boost the preventive measures in Myanmar as the country has a potential for infection, citing the situation in Italy. He also urged the authorities to speed up the surveillance at airports and to use the personal protective equipment following the guidelines released by the World Health Organization. The Permanent Secretary also called for raising awareness about coronavirus infection at the examination centers for the matriculation students and providing the students with hand gel and surgical masks. The Central Committee for Drug Abuse Control's Public Awareness Committee held a coordination meeting at the Ministry of Information in Naypyidaw on Tuesday. Chairman of the committee and Deputy Minister for Information, Hluttaw, said the Ministry of Information is taking a focal role for the committee that held 2 meetings in the previous year, and most of the resolutions made at the 2 meetings had been implemented. The chairman continued that the meeting is to develop a plan for effective implementation of the 19 works and urged the committee's members to make suggestions for ongoing processes. The chairman concluded his speech by saying drug crimes are a threat to national security and drug education programs cannot be organized by an individual and a single organization. Therefore, it is important to promote cooperation between relevant departments, local and foreign partner organizations, private organizations, state-owned media and private media. He also stressed the importance of seeking the best possible ways for implementing preventive education, treatment and rehabilitation programs for drug control. Chairman of the Union Election Commission Hluttaw received International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance Asia and Pacific Director Lina Rakila Tamang in Naypyidaw on Tuesday. The officials discussed matters on preparation for holding the 2020 general election in accord with the 5 norms, conducting capacity building training on the elections, ensuring domestic migrant workers and IDPs can exercise their rights to vote, collaboration with relevant organizations on electoral security, prevention of hate speech and fake news for the elections, and further process of Step 2 democracy with the support of international ITEA. That's all with the local news, and here's the first report on Myanmar Today. The second time bill amendment began on Tuesday, where the representatives cast their votes whether or not to amend the 14 proposed bills as the first phase. However, the results of the votes were not what the majority wanted. Though most of the proposed bills received slightly above 400 votes, they were not enough for approval of further amendment. Williamson will tell us more about the details of the first day of the bill amendment vote casting.
ဒီကနေ့ကျင်းပတဲ့ဒုတိယအကြိမ်ပြည်ထောင်စုလွှတ်တော်15ကြိမ်မြောက်ပုံမှန်အစည်းအဝေး
Pitangsu Hluttaw began its first day of bill amendment vote casting process on 10 of March at its 15th regular session, second of Pitangsu Hluttaw meeting. Pitangsu Hluttaw divided 4 phases, where as the first phase, Hluttaw representatives will cast their votes on amending 14 different sections and subsections as the first ballot. For the second phase, the representatives will cast their votes on 15 bills, 14 bills as their third ballot and 12 for the last ballot. In order to approve the amendment to the bill, each ballot must receive more than 75% of the total votes from Hluttaw representatives, and then it will further go for referendum of the public for further approval of the amendment. There are a total of 654 representatives at Pitangsu Hluttaw. To get more than 75% of the votes, which is required for further approval, 492 representatives must approve the proposed bill amendment. However, for today's casting of the ballots, only 633 representatives attended the meeting, which means that if 491 votes are being casted in favor of amending the bill, then it will get approval for further process.
ဖွဲ့စည်းပုံအခြေခံဥပဒေပုံမှန်436ပုံမှန်ခွဲကကြီးနဲ့ခခွဲတွင်အကျုံးဝင်တဲ့ပုံမှန်ခွဲများကိုပြင်ဆင်နိုင်ဖို့အတွက်ဆိုရင်ပြည်ထောင်စုလွှတ်တော်ကိုယ်စားလှယ်
There are 480 NLD Hluttaw representatives at Pitangsu Hluttaw, 166 Tamaraw representatives, 40 USDP representatives, and 68 independent representatives. On the first day of the ballot casting, 21 representatives were not present. After hours of sitting at the meeting, the results were out. According to the results, almost all the proposed bill's amendments did not receive the required number of votes. Therefore, it was not a successful bill amendment. The only amendment which received enough voting is Section 14A and B, which talk about the union shall care for mothers, children, orphans, foreign defense service personnel, children, the aged, and disabled. And B says, the union shall ensure disabled ex-defense services personnel a decent living and free vocational training. But there's not much of difference in amending this bill, but it brings a wider and more convenient use of the word for disabled persons in Myanmar language.
ထောက်ခံဆန္ဒမဲ85ရာခိုင်နှုန်းမကျော်တဲ့အတွက်မူလအတိုင်းဖြစ်ကြောင်းကြေညာပါတယ်
Though there were 14 bills where representatives wanted to make changes, including reducing the number of Tamaraw representatives at Hluttaw to 5% each in one term, but it also did not receive enough votes for further amendment. Another most interested bill which the public interested is Section 20C, which states the Commander-in-Chief of Defense Services is the Supreme Commander of all armed forces. Initially, Hluttaw representatives wanted to remove this section from the Constitution, but again, it also did not receive enough voting. Another ballot casting for the rest will continue with another 41 different bills, the second phase on 11 of March. This is Williamson for MI Radio.
ချိန်တွင်ကျင်းပပြုလုပ်မည်ဖြစ်ကြောင်းနဲ့ယနေ့အတွက်အစည်းအဝေးပြီးဆုံးကြောင်းကြေညာပါတယ်
That's a report on Pitangsu Hluttaw voting on bill amendment. All right, we'll carry on with the next report here on Myanmar Today. China's economic activities outside Hubei province begin to return to normal amid the COVID-19 outbreak. China is optimistic about the economy in 2020 despite the epidemic. For Updates on China's economy, international help, and confirmed cases. MI Radio reached out to Zaji Ne-win from China Media Group, CRI Myanmar Department.
With the outbreak of COVID-19, the deadly epidemic gradually stabilizing, the China's economic activities outside Hubei province begin to return to normality. Significantly, work on the China-Europe Railway is 90% restored, and more measures will be taken to bolster freight train services amid the coronavirus outbreak. Freight trains took 1,132 trips between China and Europe by the end of February, up 6% year-on-year. MI Radio reached out to Zaji Ne-win from China Media Group, CRI Myanmar Department for more.
လုပ်ငန်းတွေပုံမှန်လဲပတ်နေပြီလားဆိုတဲ့အခါကျတော့လုပ်ငန်းတွေကတော့အခုဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ဟူပေပြည်နယ်ကနေလွဲပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော်အခုပုံမှန်လဲပတ်တာကိုတွေ့ရပါတယ်ဒီဖေဖော်ဝါရီလ10ရက်နေ့ကစပြီးတော့ရုံးတက်တဲ့သူတွေပုံမှန်ရုံးတက်တဲ့သူတွေရုံးလုပ်ငန်းတွေကိုပြန်ဝင်လာကြပြီနောက်ဒီဘေကျင်းစောင်းရသည့်အိုလံပစ်စီမံကိန်းကဒီတိဆောက်ရေးသမားဝန်ထမ်းတွေဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်းဒါလုပ်ငန်းခွင်ကိုပြန်ဝင်လာကြပြီလို့သိရပါတယ်ဒါတိဆောက်ရေးပိုင်းပေါ့နော်ကုန်သွယ်ရေးပိုင်းမှာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်းဒီတရုတ်ဥရောပကုန်တင်မိရထားတွေပြေးဆွဲနေပြီလို့သိရပါတယ်ရှင်နောက်တစ်ခုကကျတော့ဒီစွမ်းအင်လုပ်ငန်းတွေဒီစားနယ်ရိတ်ခါတွေအချောကင်တဲ့လုပ်ငန်းတွေပေါ့နော်နောက်ပို့ဆောင်ရေးတို့လျှက်စစ်ထအားတို့ဒီလုပ်ငန်းတွေရာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်95%ကျော်လက်ပတ်နေပြီလို့ဆိုလဲဒီမတ်လ1ရက်နေ့မှာထုတ်ပြန်တဲ့သတင်းတွေအရသိရတယ်အဲ့တော့ဒီနိုင်ငံမှာကုသရေးယောဂဖြစ်ပွားပြီဆိုလို့ရှိရင်တော့အနေနဲ့အများတော့ထိခိုက်မှုတွေရှိတာမှန်ပါတယ်သမရရှိကလည်းဒီထိခိုက်မှုတွေပေါ့နော်အတက်နိုင်ဆုံးshort ချပြီးတော့ပေါ့စီးပွားရေးပုံမှန်တည်ငြိမ်လဲပတ်လာအောင်ထိန်းထားရမယ်ဆိုပြီးတော့လဲညွှန်ကြားထားပါတယ်
Even as the country faces the daunting task of getting back on track, this year is still China's deadline to eradicate poverty. Chinese President Xi Jinping said China's goal to lift all rural residents out of poverty by 2020 remains a priority.
ဖြစ်ချင်းအချိန်မှာပေါ့ဒီပုံမှန်လဲပတ်နေတဲ့ဒီစားသောက်ဆိုင်လုပ်ငန်းတို့စားတိုင်းဆိုင်လုပ်ငန်းနောက်ဒီဖြော်ပြရေးတွေခရီးသွားလာရေးတွေပေါ့ဒီယဉ်ကျေးမှုတွေဒီလုပ်ငန်းတွေရာဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ထိခိုက်မှုတွေရှိတာတော့မှန်ပါတယ်တစ်ဖက်မှာကျတော့ဒီစမ်းသစ်တဲ့နည်းတွေနဲ့စီးပွားရေးနည်းတွေနဲ့ပြန်ပြီးတော့ကုစားလာတာကိုတွေ့ရတယ်အဲ့ဒါတွေကတော့ဒီ digital စီးပွားရေးလို့ခေါ်မှာပေါ့နော် online ဝန်ဆောင်မှုတွေ online ပညာရေးစနစ်တွေနောက် online လုပ်ငန်းခွင်တွေနောက် online ကနေပြီးတော့ကျန်းမာရေးစောင့်ရှောက်မှုတွေဒီလိုမျိုးတွေပြန်ပြီးတော့အားကောင်းလာတာကိုတွေ့ရပါတယ်
China is not alone in its fight against the COVID-19. Other countries are in a bid to help the country in its battle. For more on the support international community provides, she added.
နောက်တစ်ခုကနိုင်ငံတကာမိသားစုနဲ့လက်တွဲပြီးတော့ဂူးဆက်ယောဂတိုက်ဖြတ်နေတဲ့အခြေအနေကျမတို့ဒီတရုတ်ပြည်ရဲ့ကိုရိုနာဗိုင်းရပ်စ်တိုက်ဖြတ်နေရေးတွေမှာပေါ့နော်ကျမတို့မြန်မာနိုင်ငံအပါအဝင်ဒီအာဆီယံနိုင်ငံတွေကရောကမ္ဘာနိုင်ငံအသီးသီးကလည်းအားပေးထောက်ခံနေတာကိုတွေ့ရတယ်။အားပေးထောက်ခံတဲ့နေရာမှာလည်းဈေးဘက်သုံးပစ္စည်းတွေကိုလူဒန်းတာတွေရှိသလိုငွေကြေးတွေထောက်ပံ့တာတွေလူဒန်းတာတွေကိုလည်းတွေ့ရပါတယ်ရှင်။မြန်မာနိုင်ငံဆိုရင်လည်းဒီဖေဖော်ဝါရီလထဲမှာစံနေလူဒန်းနဲ့ဈေးဘက်သုံးပစ္စည်းတွေကိုခံနေရလူဒန်းတာတွေကိုလည်းတွေ့ရပါတယ်။တရုတ်နိုင်ငံအနေနဲ့ဒီ virus တိုက်ဖြတ်တဲ့နေရာမှာနိုင်ငံတကာရဲ့အားပေးထောက်ခံမှုကလည်းဒါအင်အားတရက်ကိုဖြစ်စေတာအမှန်ပါရှင်အခုဆိုလို့ရှိရင်ကမ္ဘာ့ကျန်းမာရေးအဖွဲ့နဲ့လည်းလက်တွဲပြီးတော့ဒီ coronavirus တိုက်ဖြတ်ရေးတွေမှာပေါ့နော်ပူးပေါင်းလှုပ်ဆောင်နေရတော့လည်းတွေ့ရတယ်။သမရရှိကလည်းဒီ COVID-19 တိုက်ဖြတ်ရေးနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့သူကလမ်းညွှန်ချက်9ရက်ထဲမှာလည်းဆိုလို့ရှိရင်လည်းဒီနိုင်ငံတကာနဲ့ပူပေါင်းဆောင်ရွက်ဖို့เนาะပူပေါင်းဆောင်ရွက်ပြီးတော့ဒီကာကွယ်ဆေးတွေထုတ်လုပ်ဖို့နဲ့အချက်အလက်တွေမျှဝေဖို့ဒီယောဂအတွေ့အကြုံပေါ့ထိန်းချုပ်ရေးနဲ့ဆိုင်တဲ့အချက်အလက်တွေမျှဝေဖို့ဆိုပြီးတော့လည်းညွှန်ကြားထားပါတယ်
In summary, the COVID-19 outbreak was first reported in the city of Wuhan, which is central China's Hubei province, in December 2019. Experts have attributed the outbreak to a novel coronavirus that has since spread across China and abroad, with confirmed cases exceeding 109,000 globally. According to update as of 10th March, in China, 80,924 confirmed cases have been reported, with 3,140 deaths and 59,982 recovered. Outside of China, at least 33,204 confirmed cases and over 870 deaths were reported. WHO chief says threat of the COVID-19 pandemic is very real, as all EU members have reported cases so far. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on China's economy, international help, and confirmed cases. Now let's have a look at the currency rates from Myanmar Central Bank and the stock exchange. $1 is at 1,324 kyats. 1 Chinese renminbi is at 197 kyats. 1 euro is at 1,504 kyats. 1 pound sterling is at 1,729 kyats. 1 Singapore dollar is at 953 kyats. 1 Malaysian ringgit is at 312 kyats. 1 Thai baht is at 42 kyats, and the Indian rupee is at 17 kyats. Gold is trading at $1,656. Silver is at $17, and Brent crude oil is at $35. On the Yangon Stock Exchange, FMI dropped 500 and it's at 11,500. MTSH is at 3,900. MCB is at 8,200. FPB went up 500 and it's at 22,500. TMH is at 2,800. Stay with us as we bring you more reports on Myanmar Today. Myanmar Digital Rights Forum 2020, which is co-organized by PANDIA, Myan ICT for Development Organization, Myanmar Center for Responsible Business, and Free Expression Myanmar, was held on the 28th to the 29th of February at Rose Garden Hotel. David Henry has the details.
The Myanmar Digital Rights Forum (MDRF), which is becoming an annual mainstay for the digital rights movement in Myanmar and the region, is envisioned as the cornerstone of Myanmar's digital rights advocacy effort, supporting awareness raising and continuous multi-stakeholder engagement on the issues. With that said, we will hear more about what the forum is all about from Mawee Pyo Mye, Senior Manager for Digital Rights Program of PANDIA.
Myanmar Digital Rights Forum is an annual event. We had been organizing this Myanmar Digital Rights Forum since 2016. So this is the fourth Digital Rights Forums, which we will discuss about digital policies, digital rights policies. So basically, it's 2020 is for this country is the year for elections. So we in this 2020 Myanmar Digital Rights Forum, we will focus a lot. All these discussions will be focusing on these election issues, the role of the role of the technologies, and then the role of data, which could have impacts on the coming elections. So that will be main focus for all the discussion at this Myanmar Digital Rights Forum. In addition to that, of course, we will also discuss about other issues related to the digital rights, what is happening currently in Myanmar, what is digital rights, which kinds of issues, we should be concerned, and etc. The others, the bigger objective is about like a kind of to have a policy, protecting our rights online as well. So we would like the government and also even the upcoming government and also the political parties, we would like them to adopt these like a digital right mechanism, in their policy.
The topic for MDRF 2020 will be about Myanmar digital culture, Rakhine shutdown, national security, rights to information, digital election, dangerous disinformation or sharing political news, digital risks of Myanmar elections 2020, the biggest threat to free expression online in Myanmar, etc. More about why this Digital Rights Forum has been held annually and why is it really essential for Myanmar will also be explained by Mr. Jess Peterson, CEO of PANDIA.
Well, we think that anywhere in the world, strong digital rights and digital regulatory framework is critical for protecting freedom of speech online, for protecting people's privacy, and for making sure that people's data is being sufficiently protected, whether it's by private companies, by government, or others. In Myanmar, we've seen a very rapid uptake in the adoption of consumer technology in the last 5 years. Everybody is online now, which is really good, which is a big opportunity. But since everybody's using the internet, it's now more important than ever before that we have good regulation, good laws in place that make sure that people can use the internet safely, that people's data and privacy is being protected. And that's exactly what the Myanmar Digital Rights Forum is all about. It's about having these important conversations about what should regulation in Myanmar look like, how can we best ensure people's privacy online, and then doing what we can to follow through and to advocate with lawmakers and others to make sure that laws are actually being put in place.
MDRF 2020 will bring together about 150 representatives from CSOs, journalists, business leaders, policymakers, technologists, advocates, academics, government representatives from across the world who seek collective answers to potential and actual impacts of technologies on society and human rights in Myanmar. Ms. Vicky Baumann of Myanmar Center for Responsible Business also told MI Radio her perspective regarding the digital hygiene of Myanmar and how we should improve.
So one of our biggest concerns, and this is why MCRB works on the section related to privacy, is that Myanmar has very poor practices relating to data protection and cybersecurity, and this is something we've been working on for quite some time. Cybersecurity needs to balance users' rights and the needs of government and others. What we find is, for example, with data protection, there is a very relaxed attitude on the part of both individuals and governments to sharing personal data such as NRC numbers online, even though that then can become something where people's identity can be stolen because people don't have good data privacy and data hygiene approaches and share their information far too readily.
Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio.
That's a report on the 4th Myanmar Digital Rights Forum to explore the role of data. And here's the last report on E-Commerce Association of Myanmar officially launched. To represent and stimulate the development in the e-commerce sector in Myanmar, the E-Commerce Association of Myanmar was formed and it's officially launched at the Novotel Hotel in Yangon on Wednesday. Members can present the rights and interests to the policymakers when moving forward to a well-developed e-commerce platform. Dora Zin reports.
The official launching ceremony of E-Commerce Association of Myanmar, ECAM, was held at Novotel Hotel in Yangon on 11 March. Since the license granted by DICAR in July of 2019, the ECAM is working for 9 months now, and it is the very first and only e-commerce association in Myanmar. In the recent years, the rate of internet usage within the country is getting higher, so the e-commerce enterprises are also established.
e-commerce market ပေါ့2018မှာတော့ e-commerce market 30 million လောက်ရှိပါတယ်
In 2018, the volume of e-commerce in Myanmar was $30.8 million. The percent of GDP is smaller compared to the market of other countries, so we have seen a lot of potential here.
The ECAM aims to represent and make the development in the e-commerce sector in Myanmar.
အဓိကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကဒီ e-commerce လုပ်ငန်းရှင်တွေနောက်က e-commerce နဲ့ဆက်ဆက်နေတဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့
In this association, the e-commerce enterprises and other related ones are gathering, such as online sellers, delivery services, digital payment services, and network services. Our association is to collect the efforts of these relevant enterprises to solve the problems of e-commerce, such as fake selling and product quality control. Moreover, we will also distribute the knowledge about e-commerce to those who are not quite aware of, especially those who are from rural areas.
There are about 200 enterprises which are interested in the association, and the ECAM has verified and accepted over 50 enterprises as membership. As the members, they can represent the rights and interests to the policymakers.
ဘောနော်ဥပဒေရေးဆွဲဖို့အတွက်လှုပ်ဆောင်နေကြတဲ့ဒီ MOC တို့အဖွဲ့အစည်းတွေကနေပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဆော့ဆော့တော့ပေါ့တရားဝင်ပေါ့တွေ့ဆုံဆွေးနွေးတဲ့ခါကျရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့က
Our association can participate in the official meetings held by the Ministry of Commerce for the rulemaking. We can act as a negotiator between the rulemakers and enterprises. We listen to the difficulties of the enterprises and list the experience of the consumers to present them to the relevant governmental organizations.
Besides gathering and connecting the local community, the ECAM work closely with the international organizations within the short time of operation.
သက်တမ်းတော်တော်လေးပေါ့တစ်နှစ်အောက်ရှိတဲ့သက်တမ်းထဲမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ UN တွေပိုင်းနဲ့အလုပ်အများကြီးလုပ်ခဲ့ပြီးပြီ
Although our association has been operational for 9 months, we have already collaborated with UN organizations and USAID. Moreover, I'm also going to participate in the upcoming global e-commerce event by UN as the representative of Myanmar.
Fake selling and quality controlling are the main issues when adapting the new concept of e-commerce within the country.
Consumer education အရေးကြီးတယ်
To control the fake selling of e-commerce, the consumer education is necessary. The consumers should have knowledge about the goods they are buying. At the same time, when you look at the suppliers in online shops, especially in Facebook, which is popular in Myanmar, the consumers have to carefully check the reviews and rating of the sellers.
Although the percentage of the GDP growth of e-commerce in Myanmar is low, there are much more potential for the development. Noticing the need of representative for the whole industry, the ECAM is formed and the members are striving to make obvious changes in the e-commerce development.
Each individual income producer ရဲ့ income တမီးရဲ့ဘာလေးပဲကတ်လေးပဲလုပ်လို့အဲ့ဒီဟာလေးတွေကို online မှာရောင်းနိုင်
The individual income of the producers can be increased through e-commerce. Whatever you produce, if you can sell online, you will earn more than selling conventionally. This is also the increase of country's economy. So, we have to forward to e-commerce. Otherwise, the global platform in e-commerce will leave us behind.
Global e-commerce market is growing rapidly and the sales reach up to nearly 3.46 trillion US dollars in 2019. This is Dora Suizin reporting from MI Radio.
That's a report on E-Commerce Association of Myanmar officially launched. Well, that's all we have for today's reports. Let's move on to international news here on Myanmar Today. Chinese President Xi Jinping on Tuesday arrived in Wuhan, Hubei province, the epicenter of the coronavirus disease outbreak, to inspect prevention and control work. President Xi, who is also the General Secretary of the Communist Party of China Central Committee and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, went straight to Hoshensan Hospital after arriving in Wuhan. When visiting Hoshensan Hospital, President Xi learned about its operations, treatment of patients, protection for medical workers, and scientific research. He also visited patients who are being treated there and sent regards to medical workers who have been fighting the epidemic on the front line day and night, encouraging them to firm up confidence in defeating the epidemic.
你们都戴着这个穿着防护服啊，戴着口罩啊，我看不到你们的这个真实面貌。但是呢，你们在我心目中都是最可爱的人。所以我在这里啊，代表党中央向你们啊表示诚挚的慰问，致以崇高的敬意。
Oil prices jumped over 8% on Tuesday, bouncing from the biggest rout in nearly 30 years a day earlier, as the possibility of economic stimulus encouraged buying and U.S. producers slashed spending in a move that could cut output. On Monday, U.S. President Donald Trump pledged to gird the U.S. economy against the impact of the spreading coronavirus outbreak. Japan's government said it planned to spend more than $4 billion in the second package of steps to cope with the virus. U.S. shale producers, including Occidental Petroleum Corp, deepened spending cuts that could reduce production. Oil plunged about 25% on Monday. It rebounded on Tuesday along with equities and other financial markets. In other news, Russia's President Vladimir Putin has opened the door to constitutional changes that would allow him to remain in power until 2036, but said he favored term limits once the country became politically mature. 67-year-old Putin, who in January unveiled a major shakeup of Russian politics and a constitutional overhaul, is required by the constitution to step down in 2024 when his second sequential and fourth presidential term ends. But addressing the State Duma on Tuesday, the lower house of parliament, he gave his qualified blessing to a proposed change to the constitution that would formally reset his presidential term tally to 0. And that's all we have for today. Thanks for joining me on Myanmar Today. I'm Henry Zin. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.